Something outside? Good morning. All right, let's get on the share game as soon as I can see this. Oh, bless it, dude. It's running slow for me today. Oh, that's why. I turned off my Wi Fi. Really, Facebook? Hey, Facebook. Why you no work? I haven't even said nothing, and you're already blocked. Ah, bless it. All right, well, let's go to YouTube. All right, well, looks like I'm playing around on the YouTube side today. Where is the share button on YouTube? Share to my feed on FaceSpace. Next. Share. Cool. All right, good morning, folks. How we doing? We got 3 folks. We'll wait for you to double. 4 folks. See, we're getting closer already. Damn. All right. Well, while we wait for people, anyone got any questions? What's it? There's the live chat. All right. How you doing, Mickey? Tired. It's already nap time, but right after this, I'm going to the range, and then I think tonight I'm heading up to Grayling. I'm going camping. Yeah, it's that time of year, dude. Really? I barely do anything, and you get in trouble. That's some old bullshit. All right. Maybe I should share it to the groups as well while you're over there fixing whatever. Be link. Flint Politics reboot. Copy, post. I don't think there is. Oh, yeah. Flint HNN, right? Yeah. Since the other site died, or the other page. I liked posting over there because that's where all the haters hung out. I like what the haters yelling about. All right. So I got those 2 shares. Somehow I've already gotten the Facebook taken down. I haven't even opened my mouth yet. Man, people claim that they're controversial. Anyway, so as everyone knows, I've got a slight lawsuit against the city, and this week Judge Pickell, I think is his name, right? He issued a preliminary injunction saying, hey, go back to the way things were We're going to figure out the rest in court. Okay, cool. Two very prominent people in the city of Flint government have released statements about this. What happened to the Facebook?
I'm over here working on it now. I'm just waiting on them to see how long they gonna give me. How long they ban me.
I'm willing to bet they saw my face and they gave him another timeout. Anywho, so we got a statement from Chief Green, and I quote: "We have witnessed an AR-15 assault-style rifle carried at City Council meeting, as well as a person outfitted with a bulletproof vest," Green said. After reports of several threats against council members, city staff, and the mayor's office, the measures we've taken at City Hall are much like those in court buildings, classrooms, hospitals, theaters, and airports. I've already written an open letter to Chief Green, and I'm going to reiterate some of the points here, Chief. Number one, you're the chief of police. How many you should know? You should about weapons classifications. Okay. You don't. And that's fine. I don't blame you for not knowing. I blame you for not taking the time to go out and figure out what's what. You have so many vets, so many gun enthusiasts on your staff. I've talked with many of them. Hell, I hang out with them at Williams gun sites. We sit there and we BS. We BS about guns. We BS about local politics. By the way, you're not all that popular with your officers. I'll tell you that right now. Neither's the mayor. What? You just gave me that weird look like, God damn it, Trevor. No, I am not going to war. These are for demonstration purposes only. These are a bunch of range queens. So he wanted to say that the picture that was taken of me at City Council, what I was holding is AR-15 style. No, it isn't. This here is AR-15 style. Magazine in front of trigger. Looks about standard. Hell, anyone who plays Call of Duty knows what this is. Okay. This here, oh, heavy some gun, is what I carried. This is this is what I took to council. Yeah, it looks big and scary, don't it? Carries the same size round. Oh yeah, it carries the same round. It's the exact same thing on the inside, except magazines in the back of the trigger. That's all it is. A few cosmetic changes.
So you took that to city council?
Yeah. Honestly, the entire night, my hand stayed the hell away from this because I didn't want anyone freaking out thinking I'm going to X, Y, or Z. No, I'm not. Chamber was clear, nothing in it, just a mag seated here. Nothing could have happened without extra actions, which people would have seen. I happen to enjoy bullpup rifles. I like them because they're heavier. I got a little bit more barrel for smaller overall size. I like the heavy weight because it reduces recoil.
Good afternoon, Mama Quill. And so, because I know they're gonna screenshot. So what is that flag that you got up there?
That's a pirate flag. So when pirates were out and about, raise the black to say, hey, we're just coming for your cargo. Surrender, everything's cool. You pissed them off, they lowered the black, they raised the red, meaning we aren't taking prisoners. We aren't taking prisoners today verbally.
So who you got beef with? That's what I'm saying.
I got beef with the chief and with the mayor. Verbally.
I mean, what is your verbal beef you have with them?
So the way that he puts this, we've seen AR-15 style assault rifle. It is not AR-15 style, obviously. Everything's backwards on it. Number two, it is not assault rifle. An assault rifle has full auto. Guess what? I don't have a license for full auto.
Oh, so you got a license for them?
You don't need a license for these. These are, you can just go to Williams right now. Williams gun sites or hell, any pawn shop. As long as you don't have a felony or domestic abuse, you can buy these. Period. End of story. I mean, that's literally what I did. I walked in, showed them my ID. They go, okay, fill out this piece of paper. Are you a felon? No. Do you have a substance abuse problem? No. Have you ever been in a mental hospital? No. They do a background check to make sure I didn't lie on that piece of paper. It goes to the National Instant Background Check System. Okay, he didn't lie. Here's your gun. Give us our money. Well, backwards. Give us our money. Here's your gun. Okay.
So
Any one of these.
So this is the beef. Why? I mean, this is why you got a lawsuit in against. With the city now because of these.
Not really because of those. Because of this. Because of how much I've been threatened. How dangerous the city of Flint is. Sure, while I'm in those council chambers, I know no one else is armed. I'm also a smaller guy. I'm also disabled. So 1 or 2 punches could probably put me down. Let's face it. You bust my back up, you bust my back up. Desert Eagle.
Yeah, because I'm looking at what Chris Caleb's saying you can convert them to automatic.
You can. Good luck dealing with the alphabet boys. They'll come in, arrest you, shoot your dog. I mean, yes, this one's far easier to do than these two. The trigger mechanism on this is just a box that you'd have to break open and try to reseal. It's a pain in the ass. I haven't even looked at the trigger mechanism in this one.
But okay, this is the question I want to say to you though. I'm just playing the devil's advocate.
Yeah, go for it.
For one, you got citizens saying why you need to have them type of. Even bringing guns to council, because people do be want to know.
So when I did go up there with the rifle, it was to prove a point.
Right.
They had the metal detector up. They said, "Well, this is to show who has guns, and I'll walk in and I'll let you know I have a gun. I will bring a large one." The issue is, you don't have to fucking know. Here's the thing. It's called the Fourth Amendment, unlawful search and seizure. Putting up that metal detector in and of itself is unlawful search. If I have my concealed carry, there's a reason it's called concealed. No one in that room needs to know. I'm not breaking no laws by having it on me. Just like right now, on my appendix, I have a gun on me. I ain't breaking no laws by that. I paid my extortion fee. I paid my, $150 to get the damn license plus my other $200 to take the course. So I've paid for an extra right, which you shouldn't have to do, but I paid for an extra right so that people didn't have to know I'm carrying. Honestly, the only reason I like concealed carry over open carry is because open carry just someone sees it from across the way, they freak out, and it's too easy to get off you. So I just like it right here, nice and secure. I don't care if you know if I have it on me.
Gotcha.
Right? But how many people, actually, I know how many people. I think it was something like 15% of the population of Michigan have a concealed carry. That's a large number of people. If you take that same demographic, I think we're down to like 76,000 people. Where's my phone? 7,600 people in the city of Flint have a concealed carry license. We know for a fact that 3 of our council people have that license. Judy, Tanya, Dennis. Okay. So we know people are armed in that chamber. No one needs to know, because while things have gotten loud, while we've all shouted and yelled, and there's been no fights in there even. There have been no shoving matches. The worst that has happened is one man tried to take a phone away from a woman because she is taking pictures of him without his permission. Allegedly. Right? That is the worst that has happened in that council chamber as long as I've attended. We see people get in each other's face and yell. No hands are even put on each other. The only hands that happen to get put on anyone is a cop coming in separating you. So why do you feel you need these extra measures?
Well, I said the mayor carries also.
Yeah. But that's for the rest of City Hall. I'm talking about just City Council, which we're going to get into that here in a minute. So Dennis has received threats. I know for a fact Judy has received threats. We all know Tanya has received threats. Why didn't the cops do anything before that? No, it's only when Liddell Lewis comes up in front of a camera crying and that they say that there's been threats. Except She can't produce proof of it. I've seen the threats against Judy. She doesn't make a big deal of them. She doesn't even call the cops about them. Why? Two reasons. She knows the cops are ineffective here in Flint. And two, because she considers most of them baseless. Okay. Tanya, she talked to the cops, nothing happened. Dennis asked for protection for his family, nothing happened. But Liddell Lewis comes up there, has a press conference. Next thing you know, there's a metal detector. Why is she more important? Can you tell me why? I mean, hell, Eric Mays has been assaulted in bars. People said they're going to come get him at council. Not a damn thing was done. Hell, they didn't even press charges against the person that assaulted him at a bar.
I wasn't there. I don't know about it. I just,
But come to Detroit. See? Chris right there. Come to Detroit at your own risk. Why? Because it's a dangerous city. But we've concentrated so many cops at city council to protect these 9 people who do not deserve any more protections than the rest of the city of Flint. What about the rest of the city of Flint? Where are my folks from the north side of Flint? Anyone in this chat right now? Well, we'll go ahead and proceed with that. How many gunshots have you heard around Flint? How often do you see lit up berries and cherries going down the street investigating? Never. How many times have I can tell you I've called the cops over 100 times since living in Flint on gunshots. Only once have I seen them fucking respond, and that's when a young girl died down the street from me. Only once. So we can't get that same coverage everywhere else. You know what? Maybe. No. Yeah.
So
Maybe if the Flint Police Department had a better reputation, maybe no sexual assaults or scandals, maybe a higher ranking cop not thrusting his pelvis in a woman's face in the workplace, maybe you would have more cops. Maybe if you paid them their bonuses when you're supposed to, we'd have more cops to do this. Just saying. Instead, you go along to get along to go along, continue with the corruption as it is, and the very next thing you know, you're only concentrating on smaller and smaller areas. The only part of Flint that anyone cares about in these governing positions is downtown. Screw the rest of the city. Screw the poor parts. In their minds, let them kill each other. Because that's one less person you have to kick out of the city. That's one less person you have to tax out. You have to wait for them to fall behind on their taxes. That's a year or two. Nah, let them die is what they're thinking. They don't care about us. They really don't. Oh. And these are the same measures you take at airports. Bullshit. And now, before they had that metal detector up, last week, I was able to walk into City Hall, no problem. I didn't even take my knives off of me because there was no cop at that metal detector. I was able to go and pay my water bill. Not an issue.
When you went the other day.
When I went the other day after this injunction, they decided, oh, now we're going to give a damn. Now we're going to have it manned all the time except for city council meetings. They really don't care. This is all just for political show. You want to know why I have so many guns? Because I enjoy them. I enjoy taking them to the range. These aren't for use on people. This one might get used on a deer. Might. If I ever decide to get off my ass and get a deer tag. No. What I have for my own personal protection is small, concealable, carryable. But they want to sit there and freak out over this. And I can tell you, I almost can promise you, that they were planning on doing this deal with the 67th District Court before I ever walked in there with that rifle. They're acting like it's reactionary. No, it's all pre-planned. And then they had a problem with a person wearing a Kevlar vest. This is fucking Flint. I misquoted Miss Burns the other day. I had said 400. I thought she had said 400 shootings in the city of Flint this year. I was wrong. The actual quote is a shooting every night. Why not wear something to protect yourself? Okay, if you can't own a firearm, go get yourself some body armor. And body armor is zero threat to anyone around you. I have never heard of anyone having an accidental body armor accident. So why are you bringing that up, Chief Green? Maybe if you got your department in order and would stop just opening your mouth on stuff you don't even fucking know, we would have a better city. Maybe if we had a chief of police who understood his role, who understood that you were there to administer the police department, answer to the city council, maybe even give them the safety plan that they've been asking for a year for the entire city, not just one room in a building downtown, the city would be in a better place. Maybe if you investigated the shootings, maybe if you arrested the shooters, maybe if you made sure that your case was solved and they stayed behind bars so they don't get out and do it again, maybe Flint would be in a better fucking place.
It's safe to say you do not like Chief Green or the mayor.
At all.
Got it.
At all. There is zero like or respect because Chief Green, like I said, I go to the range very often. I meet up with some of your officers there. I talk with some of your officers there. Hell, I talk with some of your officers on the street. You aren't very well liked or received. I know many of them are veterans. I know many of them have either the same things in their gun safe as me or bigger and better. You could have asked most of your officers, hey, what was Trevor Berryhill carrying that night? They tell you, oh, that's a Springfield Armory Hellion. It's basically an AR, but it works extremely differently. It uses the same round, yeah, but instead you decide to go with the big scary buzzword AR-15 style assault rifle. Except none of my guns have a fun switch. These are all safeties. There's nothing back here that says auto or burst. No, these are basically tricked out hunting rifles. That's exactly what they are.
So
they look pretty.
So basically, you have brought these on. It was explained from what the police chief had a press conference.
Yeah, he was asked by the news, like, hey, how do you feel about this? Very disappointed. How about you get your head out of what the court's saying about the city, get your head out of that, and rededicate yourself to protecting the people of the city, Chief Green?
Could it be that he was maybe being pressured to do what he had to do?
Oh, that's a political appointed position. Of course he is. People look to him for safety, even though he doesn't do a damn thing, but that's the first place our eyes turn toward our cops, right? The person that appointed him, I don't know, could have said, hey, when they ask you about this, make sure you take my side. Hey, why don't you use these buzzwords? Of course, because the man's looking out for his job instead of for us. This is where I jump off the plane when other Republicans say back the blue. Don't get me wrong, individual cops, many cases, pretty damn all right. But then you have these ignorant political appointees. And like I said, these are not for people. These are for deer and for the range. I have to keep saying that because to me, they're pretty. It's like a knife, each individually crafted and made different. But then we take a look at the mayor's response.
Okay, let's get to it.
We took a legitimate stance to attempt to keep people safe while engaging with their city government, he said. We have seen horrific acts committed in public places. It is beyond disappointing that gun lobbyists can use legal tactics that render helpless our best efforts to protect residents. Neely said the city looks forward to the opportunity to have this lawsuit fully abjugated to uphold the right of the residents to remain safe in public meetings. There is so much fucking wrong with this. All right, first and foremost, this is not a legitimate stance. He is borrowing power from another branch of government. That is not allowed. 2, in the state of Michigan, there's a preemptive clause in our laws saying that if it in any way contradicts the federal constitution or the state constitution, you cannot do it. The way the government is set up here in the United States is the people have all the rights, the government has limited rights. At least that's how it's supposed to be. It has been bastardized and perverted over 2 centuries. Don't get me wrong. Instead of people saying, can I do this? It is more of, am I allowed to do this? The way that it was set up is if there isn't a law against it, you're completely allowed. Whereas it's supposed to be the exact opposite for the government. If there isn't a law saying I can do this, the government can't. which is what the preemptive clause is. The city cannot make laws as to the registration or the carrying, possession, or purchase of firearms. Period. End of story. So it tried, knowing that, they tried using the courts. Myself, Arthur Woodson, Michigan open carry and responsible gun owners decided to take this to the courts. He says, it is beyond disappointing gun lobbyists can use legal tactics that render helpless our best efforts to protect residents. Number one, he can go take that best efforts to protect residents and shove it. Because you go to the east side, you go to the north side. Do you see any protections for them folk? When we were across the street from at the old studio, how many times did we hear people fighting? How many times did we hear gunshots? Hell, the night we left that studio, wasn't there a fatal shooting just around the corner? Where was the protection there? Nowhere. No. So he only wants to consider downtown. Why? Because it looks good for Democrat donors. Don't get me wrong. He does play both sides, but he has a D in front of his name. That's who he's looking for to get more campaign contributions for whatever he runs for next. My money's on Congress. But I may be wrong, and he may just try running for mayor of Flint again. But he still needs, even though it's a nonpartisan position, he still needs those donors. It isn't about the money per se. It's about the endorsement. So he still needs to look good. This is just a stunt for his political allies. Right? Second, he says, it is beyond disappointing that we can use legal tactics. No, this is the United States. Going off of the principles of the country, what it was supposed to be, I have the right to challenge anything the government does in the court of law to see if the law supports it. What he's saying here is, basically, it's disappointing that I can't do whatever I want to do and that people can challenge me. That is the thought process of a dictator and a tyrant. All enemies, foreign and domestic, doesn't mean I have to use those. It means I can use the court system on the domestic ones, and I damn well will.
I get what you're saying.
No prisoners today.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. It's safe to say that you don't like the mayor neither, again, as I said.
No, not at all. I don't like dictators. I don't like tyrants. I don't like people that try to tell me what my rights are. I know what they are. I don't like people telling me that, oh, you're making people uncomfortable. Stop that. I don't care if other people are uncomfortable, to be honest with you. If it isn't within my rights, I'm going to use them. Just like, hey, it is my right to speak my mind. Does speaking my mind make people uncomfortable? Obviously. I've been called a terrorist and a bully before by this same man. Guess what? I don't give a damn if he's uncomfortable. He used his right of free speech to call me a coward for challenging him. That is his right. I'm not going to tell him not to. I will dispute it, though. I'm going to ask him, what makes me a coward exactly? The fact that I'm challenging you? The fact that I'm saying you can't do what you're trying to do here? The fact that you're saying that a right is not as important as any other? Because that's a slippery slope right there. If you try making people decide between a right of free speech or carry a gun, you know what? Let's take the gun out of this. Right of free speech or right not to be searched by cops just at a random. Well, okay, if I say the right not to be searched by cops at random is more important than the right of free speech, does that mean you can take away the right of free speech? Because that's exactly what he's going to try to do. Any and every right is just as important as any other. And telling people that they can't exercise one to exercise the other is a path toward destruction that we don't want to walk. That is why I'm in court. And then reading this, I'm going to use my freedom of speech to dismantle this piece by piece, just like he's using his freedom of speech to spread this disinformation.
Right, I get what you're saying.
He said, we have seen horrific acts committed in public spaces, trying to link me with these to people who have committed these horrible acts. I never have committed any of those horrible acts. I don't plan to. I never will. But just because he said that, just like on his little podcast, he showed pictures of me while talking about a mass shooter.
Right.
trying to link me to that. Like I'm somehow part of that. I am not. And he wants to talk about gun lobbyists. I'll tell you what, I'm not a lobbyist. I'm not trying to get money off of this. I'm not running for an office. I'm not trying to get into whatever elected official's ear and give them money or give them ideas to get a law passed. I'm just trying to uphold what I already have.
Right.
I'm also a free speech advocate. I'm also a Fourth Amendment advocate, a Third Amendment advocate, a Fifth Amendment advocate. Hey, every amendment. Oh, damn. Thomas is calling me a terrorist now because I jinxed your Lions. But that is the problem. When you have these ignorance people running around thinking they can do whatever they want, and then when they get a dose of reality, they take it personally. That is my largest problem. We have these elected officials. Hell, let's look at Liddell Lewis. She got into that president's chair and she thinks she can do whatever. And now that she has Candace Mushet as her VP, she doesn't have to worry about if she misses a meeting because she knows Candace will sit there and put Mays out at first opportunity. So there is no debate. They want to just rubber stamp everything. I enjoy intelligent and articulate discussion on what they're trying to pass. I don't care if it's trying to pass changing the speed limit on some of these roads from 25 to 24. I want to hear discussion for and against instead of a rubber stamp. Because everything that they are doing, I have hardly seen any of these proposals from council members. Most of them come from the administration. So what we're seeing is 5 people elected to city council rubber stamping and just doing what the mayor's office wants.
So I wonder how long this beef's going to go on between you and the mayor.
Until he stops fucking up my wife's town.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I guess that's...
This is going to happen until we both die. We are going to both die of old age if I have my way. Him possibly in 40 years, me probably 30 because I don't take care of myself. That's fine. When one of us dies is when it ends, hopefully of old age. Hopefully not of cancer.
Got you, because I can see. So you think he's going to come up with a new law for you?
I think he's going to try. So his next gambit, if he loses in court, is going to be having his wife try to introduce a bill nullifying the preemption law that Michigan has, which we'll see. Democrats do hold a supermajority in this state. Problem is, a lot of those Democrats are coming from rural areas and they want to be reelected. So let's see a lot of rural Democrats basically, I don't want to say shoot themselves in the foot, but basically shoot themselves in the foot by voting against gun rights. Because you're not going to see Democrats from areas like Grayling or the UP anymore. They're going to get overrun and it's going to turn back into a red state and that's going to be instantly overturned again. This is going to be a back and forth for some time if he decides to go that route. Because that's pretty much his only option left. And this entire lawsuit isn't about gun rights as much as it is Open Meetings Act. Because they're trying to tell you to exercise one right, you must stop exercising the other right in that time frame. Why should I have to give up one right to use another, even for 5 minutes? So imagine that, Mickey. You're pulled over by a cop and you're told, hey, you can either have your Fourth Amendment unlawful search and seizure put aside, or you can have your Fifth Amendment right not to incriminate yourself put aside. Which one?
Well, Trevor, if I can really answer that for you, honestly, we have to throw in the factor that I am black. I might don't have no laws. I done seen people have they CCW and still get black
charged.
People still get and be in some shit, and you have to go get a lawyer and go to court. It all depends. You know
Actually,
what I'm saying?
Speaking on that, yeah, I saw a dude. I think it was in Livonia. Just got off a third shift.
Yeah.
Tired as hell. Driving home. He did a California roll through a stop sign. Cop pulls him over. He's talking with the cop. Here's my license. Opens up his center console. There's a gun. He was just getting his information, his registration and insurance. That cop says gun. The cop on the other side, put your hands up, motherfucker. Just cussing this man out. They eventually calm down. They secure the firearm. The man says, yes, I do have my CCW. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I've been awake for so long. And they let him go. But their first response was danger?
Yeah,
their first response was to pull guns and start insulting the man.
Now you can see why certain people. I mean,
I get you.
Yeah, white blacks they be like fires. You see, it is just being honest. You see why you went down there with a gun. Why you have blacks was like, hell no, I'm not finna go down there to challenge that because they probably felt they wouldn't have went this far. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can understand that. Yeah. At the same time, if I win this lawsuit.
Right.
And anyone wants to go in there, white, black, whatever, with a rifle, I'll go in with you. I'll stand side by side. Because at no point should you be looked at any differently than I am. In the eyes of the law, justice is supposed to be blind. She's supposed to be.
Every blue moon look like she pull that thing from over her eyes and see who coming in.
And I am all for keeping that damn thing over her eyes.
Yeah, but she been pulling that. I mean that scar for like the last 200 years. But
well, she needs to bring it the fuck back down. And
I pray,
because there should be no one looking sideways at a black man carrying a gun. It's okay, he's carrying a gun, and the same thing that most people would think about me walking down the street with a firearm. It should be the exact same.
See what Chris Caleb did saying. This would always come back to this. He said, when I trained in Grayling, Michigan in the Army, the black soldiers were warned not to leave the base because of their citizens having all types of military weapons, and they were racist. See, that, you know.
Thomas Art can't. But if he wants to pick a proxy, I'll walk with him. And Chris, you and I both went to Grayling to train. I was with 3126, the latter part of my military career. And my best friend, man that I call as my moral compass, Jeremiah Turner, he goes by Zaire Uku now. God, 230-pound black man. He was told, hey, dude, we go off post, you got to get in civs, and you just don't interact with the people of Grayling. I wasn't told any of that. I'm like, nah, Turner, you do what you're going to do. I'm going to roll with you because I was technically his team leader, but he is more akin to my partner.
Right.
No one's fucking with Turner with me around.
Right.
I don't care if you got 2 teeth and your cousin's your sister. Get the fuck away from my gunner.
Right.
Right. Ooh. But yeah, I know exactly what Chris is talking about. Grayling is not a very friendly place. Right. However, since I know the area fairly well because of my training time there, that's where I go camping.
Gotcha.
I mean, I don't interact with the people. I go out into the woods and say, fuck it.
Oh, no, yeah. The woods. No, I get it. That's why I'm looking at it, but I get why you're so adamant about able to come there while you basically, as people would say, like bucking the system while you showing, no, I can go up here. This is why I'm going to court because you shouldn't be doing this to the citizens. You shouldn't be basically, like you said, being a dictator. Well, you can't do this. You put this up. This is like, I get what you're saying.
So I disagree a lot with Rich Jones. Right. But he walks to and fro. Mm-hmm. How? I don't know his background. I don't know if he carries. I don't know if he wants to carry.
Right.
Okay. Let's just for a second say he does. Mm-hmm. That long ass walk from his house to city council and back again, if he is not allowed to carry, he is vulnerable that entire time. And while city council might be safe, what about the rest of that time? That the rest of that time where he can be attacked, where just because you're in the wrong area, shit does happen here, right? Why should he have to decide whether to be safe or to let his mind be known at the city of Flint? Hell, even if he doesn't want to talk at the city of Flint City Council, what if he just wants to observe, to know what's going on? Because as we've said, it is a big difference between watching on 810 or being there yourself. We
Right.
encourage everyone to be there yourself, but if you can't, you go ahead and you do a service and you go ahead and post it, right? What if you wanted to watch in person? Now you have to make a choice, and there should be no choice involved. The only choice is, do I go or do I not? Not, well, if I go, I have to follow X, Y, and Z criteria. Not that I know of, Chris.
No, I'm just saying. The only reason I say that because just playing devil's advocate,
Mhm.
because you know how some people like they say, well, because and I get that's what this is what I did disagree with the mayor at because I disagree with him about 99.9% of the time.
Yeah. I mean, hell,
That
even if you
he brought
agree
up
with him
bad
on one or two
situations
things.
like where we didn't have mass shootings at, because in America we do have mass shooters.
Yeah.
It's just being honest. and I feel like him trying to equate you to that and being down in council, because you can't have some, because I mean I get what he's saying like on some aspect, but it's like you trying to dictate what citizens can do.
And
Because I mean,
let's
have
be honest,
somebody
if I were to get crazy in there and if I had lost my fucking mind,
be careful, because you know they're gonna clip this part and play it back.
that's fine. Everyone in that room would hear. Now there's a cop in front of me, 2 cops behind me, and 3 city council members that would shoot me before I even stood up.
But
I gives a fuck what you say or think. I would not have gotten very far.
who no, that ain't what you talking about being in there. I'm saying you got to look at it from this part. Why you got to listen sometimes. They looking at say you just come in and you can get on the elevator and already had that clocked and lit. That's what I'm saying. That's what you have people will be looking at saying that, because all the time ain't like the mass shooter. He coming in and just gonna cock and live. He already gonna have that joker ready
Virginia
to go.
State.
Yeah.
What did the guy use?
I don't know.
Not one of those. 2 of these. The most recent one here in Michigan's college. One of these.
What?
Majority of the mass shootings in this country are A, gang related, illegal activity already. B, using a pistol. The higher profile what you see on the news, because the news has a narrative that they like to perpetuate, they'll show these. These are actually the minority. Less than 13% of murders in this country are
but when they
used one of
talk, but
these.
what you talking about? See, that's equating 2 different things. You saying them just black on black crime, far as gang shootings. What you just saying when they talk about mass shootings, where
When they talk about mass shootings,
they not talking about gang violence. When they talk about
they actually classified those.
What they trying
that
to
goes into the statistic because it inflates it.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But when you're talking about schools X, Y, and Z,
right,
still majority of them use a pistol because it's easily concealable to get to the fucking target. And B, what type of places do they usually target? Think about it for a second. Gun-free zones, because no one there is armed to protect themselves.
Most likely, yeah. When you see
when I know that someone's not going to protect themselves, like playing a video game. Hey, I know these guys are weaker than me and I have all the fun toys. Yeah. I'm going in there.
But it's still it's just a way, and that comes with like the propaganda. That's what I said with the mayor. The way he was trying to conflate you down in city council to being a mass shooter.
That one actually really did upset me. That one got under my skin.
It should have got up under your skin, because you got to look at your auntie on city council. Who know you know what I'm saying? Plus, she in that voting clique that's pushing a lot of this stuff through. You would have thought like you know what I'm saying? To me, it's like, and I say this, and I'm not trying to be vulgar. No, when I say it's a pissing contest,
it is,
and that's what it seemed like. Okay, he want to prove that I don't know, you the mayor. I don't know what he was trying to prove. Okay, I could ban you. I'll show y'all can't come. You can't come down there with your gun. Like, I mean, what's the end game? I'm saying from his perspective, like
from his perspective, it's like I said, for those donors, for those not even really donors per se, but it's for those endorsements, because a lot of the people on the Democrat side, I'm not saying all, but they like gun control as an idea.
Gotcha.
So he's going to try to get their votes or their endorsements or their whatever by saying, look, I took a stand against gun violence. Except there is no gun violence at city council. It was just for show. And it is a political move on his part, not anything else. It was a blatant, just act of theater. That is my biggest problem with it. Because, like I said, when I first started going to city council meetings, if it was a no gun zone then, instead of as a reaction to Liddell Lewis and
Right.
her getting the threats instead of all the other council members, I would have abided by that and you wouldn't have heard a challenge from me. Instead, he's using it as a political maneuver, which my rights are not for you to try to bargain away to get yourself some votes. Ever. I don't care what right it is. I don't care if it's my right to walk down the street whistling.
Right.
You can sit on a cactus.
Bertha, thanks for tapping in. No, I'm just saying because I gotta be the devil's advocate.
No, because
today,
that's what drives the conversation,
yeah,
right?
I
prefer
the
that.
devil's advocate for they could, because I mean these are things they're gonna say. Well, you can't come. There's no reason. I get both sides of it, but what I'm baffled by him being he cares. He got a CCW, and you attacking a fellow CCW.
But here's the thing, right? They aren't even equally enforcing this. So I cannot walk through that front door, as we saw earlier this week, with my pistol on me to go into the water department to talk with them about why they changed up the billing date.
Right.
But the mayor can come up from that garage with his pistol on him, go to his office, go about his day. City council, while it was the gun-free zone before the injunction, they were allowed to go up that elevator straight into council chambers with their guns on them. What makes them different? Because they're elected officials? I don't see anything in any law saying an elected official has more rights than you or I.
Right, and that's and this is the reason why you did this today, trying to, you know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to illustrate a point.
Right. Gotcha.
Right? These are basically just hunting rifles with some extra furniture on them.
Right.
So when I see military style assault rifle, yada, no, if I were to come up here with my hunting rifle, it's actually a bigger bullet and shoots faster, but it doesn't look like these.
Right.
It's one of those, how things look is how people try to interpret it.
I'm just trying to, because that's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to figure out, because I'm formulating questions, trying to figure out what would be something else. Because that's what I'm saying. So you just showing that you're a regular citizen and like your rights are being.
I'm average Joe.
Right.
I am literally average
violated.
Joe.
You just showing like my rights is being violated.
Like my rights, your rights, Mama Aquil's rights, Wintus's rights, you know? Yeah, Chris, I do have a 30-06 that is semi-auto and has a higher rate of fire. But no, going back to it, it is violating everyone's rights. Gotcha. And I just decided to be the poster boy. I didn't ask no one.
Right.
I sat up here with Clack and said, I will be going in with a firearm on me. I will be visible with it. I didn't ask anyone like, hey, would you like me? No, because a lot of people would have said, I don't know. I feel like that could be a little, and we wouldn't be having this discussion at all. And things would have just gotten by scot-free. You know what I mean? Like, unless you're willing to stand up for the rights, for your rights, for anyone's rights, just do it. Don't ask.
Right. I
just understand. Like if I were to see a law come up that says, well, let's go extremely racist and fucked up here. That says black people can't vote no more. You can be damn sure I'm walking in with you or Wintus or whoever to make sure you can vote. Why? I'm going to stand up for you. It's right. And no one should have any more or any less rights than anyone else. Okay? Like, I'm not going to ask you, hey, Mickey, do you want me to go with you? It's going to be, all right, Mickey, let's go. Let's show these people that they're damn well stupid. They're going to be a protest? All right, I'm coming with you.
Yes, I am. Oh, yeah, Chris.
Once again, Chris.
That's
he's
why I
a
want to
deer.
put this disclaimer out here, because I know that the Alphabet Boys watching, those are all Trevors.
Uh-huh. This is my Israeli
these
weapon
are- and
industry
these-
Zavor. This is my Springfield Hellion, and that is my bastard AR-15 with a Diamondback Arms lower receiver and a Rock River Arms upper receiver.
And they're for this is for educational purposes only. He was just demonstrating what he had down an assault rifle from because you was accused of having a what?
I was accused of having an assault rifle.
Assault rifle. And this is what Trevor is trying to explain, because, sometimes we wouldn't even have to be discussing this if, the mayor, the police chief, and what Trevor's saying, that he feel like he's been attacked. So he's just defending himself and showing people that the citizens of Flint, you do have rights.
Right.
Go ahead, Trevor.
Like, the biggest thing, and while I was rather aggrieved that they would liken me akin to a mass shooter.
Right.
That they said I have something I don't have.
Right.
What really got me, though, what really disgusted me, was them going off on that man about his bulletproof vest, about his Kevlar vest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is that a problem? It's the fact that citizens are starting to stand up for themselves and realize that we aren't alone. We have each other, but we don't have a government backing us up.
I had to laugh at Dr. Petroni.
Doc, you're not wrong.
Oh, shoot.
Look, I've said it once or twice. I'm probably better armed than the police department, but everything I have is completely legal.
Got you.
100%. I mean, my pistols are all registered with the state as I am mandated. My rifles don't have to be registered with anything, but I've bought them all through an FFL, no private transfers. There's been a background check on everything I own.
Chris, if you want to, it was just, like I said, this was just for educational purposes only.
Chris, I'm going to say go ahead. Why? Because at the end of the day, we can't shy away from things.
Yeah, we can't. I mean, it's no problem. Yeah, them jokers they tried to suspend me again on YouTube. That's why I was over here going through the thing, writing a statement, and if I can get it. I mean, not on YouTube, Facebook, but I can get it. And
this is just Facebook. Educational purposes. Nothing is loaded.
No, he was just this is what Trevor. He's a what would you call yourself, a gun enthusiast?
Yeah, I'm an enthusiast, just like with knives, right? Like, to me, metal working for a purpose, a tool of any sort, is beautiful. Like a wrench. A wrench is actually beautiful to me. I know it sounds weird as hell. These are given a purpose. The work into them, and then the extra cosmetic features. It looks great to me. This knife looks amazing to me, especially because it's forged, not fabricated.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm an enthusiast. I do like firearms. I do like knives. I do like X, Y, and Z. Some people get their kicks off cars, which I can understand.
Yeah.
Seeing a souped up, and I'm going to show my age here off my car choice, but a Dodge Viper.
Gotcha.
That gets some people going like, oh, hell yeah. In many cases, it's the same for me with the firearm. Like, how accurate is it at range? Does it have an MOA of 1 or below? Okay, well, if it doesn't have an MOA of 1 or below, what is its positive attributes?
Right.
Is it heavy so there's less recoil? Is it light so I can carry it further? I mean, what is it? What makes it special?
Gotcha.
So yeah, I'm all about that. And when it comes to safety, I mean, hell, you've seen what I keep in my truck, dude. I've got toolboxes in there. I've got water. I've got, just about everything I need if I break down on the side of the road to sustain for a couple hours, if not longer, until either a tow truck comes or I can fix myself. When it comes to, Barracuda. Mama Quill, you got taste. Anyway, when it comes to women this time of year, I advocate that they have the right tools to change their own tire. It's all about safety and self-reliance. That's what everything in my mind comes to. So, ladies, if you blow a tire, do you have a jack? Do you know how to use the jack? Which you should, but some don't for some reason. Do you have a proper jack? Because a scissor jack will fail on you. I almost lost a leg to my car falling on it using a scissor jack. Okay. Do you have a star tool? Does it fit your lug nuts? All right. Can you get the tire off? Do you have a rubber mallet in case the tire's stuck
Right.
on because of brake dust? All of these things. Do you check your oil often? Do you know how to check your oil? Do you know how to change your own oil instead of getting ripped off at the tire or at the oil change places around here?
Right.
Do you know how to take care of your own vehicle? Do you know how to take care of yourself?
Right.
Because a woman going, let's face it, dude, women are some of the biggest targets for crime in the country, in the world.
No, and going back to I do feel like because in a society that what America has been became now,
Yeah.
I do feel like I'm don't get me wrong, I do feel like women should be armed. Should be armed.
Mhm.
Just gonna
If
be
it's not a
honest with you.
firearm, then do you have self-defense classes?
Right.
Do you have a way of protecting yourself? Usually, if you're driving, you do.
But right.
Car keys.
See, we got our own personal MacGyver on the squad, people.
Right? So when you're walking out of a store, do you have your head buried in your phone, can't see shit around you? Or, say you're talking on the phone, do you have an earpiece so you can keep your eyes out? That is a huge deal. This is where my mind is at. And that is why I think of let's be armed, let's protect ourselves.
My only Mama Quilla so my only knock fires what I do have with the guns, and this gonna wrap this up real quick. My only knock is like what certain people get it because you have to have a mind state. I do feel like everybody shouldn't have a gun because it shouldn't be. To me, you gotta have damn near temperament, and you don't know who because like when people do snap and they go do things, because you can't be it always. The gun can't always be. Because some people you get mad, go run in the house, and their anger then got so up that you done went out and did something. You looking like.
Well, here's the problem with like the don't snitch mentality. Okay, so I know my buddy Frankie has an anger problem. Hey, maybe I should get Frankie into some help. Oh no, that's snitching. Well, now there's no record of Frankie having a behavioral health issue that could possibly turn into a tragedy, even if it's not with a firearm, right? So a knife or his fist, and he ends up killing someone. Instead of getting him that help that he needed, I didn't want to snitch on him. I didn't want to hurt him. That's where a lot of that comes in because I've known several guys in the Army. A buddy of mine, he wanted to end himself after our deployment. A lot of our friends turned a blind eye. He'll get over it. Well, one night I spent with him, I decided, you know what? Nah, come on, bud. We're going to talk to the chaplain. We're getting you some help. He ended up getting committed. He couldn't own a firearm for a while, but I knew he was safe. I knew he wasn't going to hurt himself, and he didn't have the tool to hurt himself. Yeah, I was called a snitch. I have a friend to call me a snitch, though. He's still around. Like, get this don't snitch mentality gone. Okay, so your buddy just broke into a house. He's bragging about it. Well, what happens next time if the homeowner's home? You might just lose your buddy. Or what if your buddy is now armed and now the homeowner gets killed? Or it turns into a shootout, neither one of them get hit, but say the neighbor. There's too much going on for us to just hold our silence about X, Y, and Z. Like a lot of this falls on behavioral health, mental health. But you're too afraid to go and talk to someone. And if you're too afraid to, someone should bring a friend of yours, a family member of yours, should bring that person to you. That is my thought process.
Gotcha.
Because at the end of the day, I don't like an omnipresent government. They don't need to know everything going on in my life. But my friends and family who have a good close eye on me, who we should all have a good close eye on each other, know when something's wrong, and they should bring it up to someone that can help me or bring me to them.
I'm with you with that.
You know what I mean? Like Chris here, a lot of people are suffering from PTSD and stress. A lot of soldiers, when they come in, have anxiety problems. When I got back from Afghanistan, I didn't own a gun for 4 years. It took 4 years of me working on myself to feel comfortable enough to own a firearm. I'm not afraid to say that. Why? Because I went out and I got the help. I got the clean bill of health. I worked toward it. But, I had the access to it. I had a chain of command whose job it was to keep me healthy. However, we look at the civilian side. What's going on around here? We've got shootings and people dying every day, but no one's going out and saying, buddy, I know you just witnessed hell on earth and it happened in your front yard. Let's take you to go talk to someone because you need to get this out. You know what I mean? But, you know, a lot of it does come down to behavioral health. A lot of it comes down to other mentalities, such as if you can't get it, take it, X, Y, and Z. And we aren't working on that. It's societal, it's economic. All these violent issues come down to things that right now we as the city or people of Flint are asking our city to actually fix. Let's fix our economy. Let's fix some of our societal problems. Let's fix some of our government problems to where people aren't passed over and fall through the cracks. Because what's their only option left?
Hey, listen, I can't say nothing about that. I mean, I think you did a good explanation.
I thought so.
Yeah, I thought you did a good explanation. I thought you actually did a good show. I guess that's it, and we'll get back to what? See you Monday.
Yep. Monday. Sister Circle on tonight?
Yes, you know what? Ashley coming on at 8 o'clock.
Ashley.
Sister Circle will be on at 5 o'clock, family. So
tomorrow, Tanya, if she isn't too stuffed from Thanksgiving.
Because I'm seeing that a lot of these jive turkeys, they ate all this turkey and y'all, you know. I
don't want to move. I mean.
Right. I see a lot of people they over turkey themselves.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to turn my chickens into chicken sandwiches.
And that's what she's gonna do the same thing.
There we go.
Yeah, we're on the same thing with family. We will be popping back at y'all. I hope y'all tune in to the Sister Circle.
Club Rich
will be on at 8 o'clock. Please tune in that. Tanya will be on at 10 tomorrow. I don't know. You know what? I know it's supposed to be some shows. That's all I'm gonna say, family. I don't know. Some people might have partied hard. Guys. I can't wait to Christmas time. They're gonna be taking off. Y'all, you know I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be here every Monday morning from Monday to Friday. Y'all ain't gotta worry about it.
Hey guys, I'm gonna set up a GoFundMe. We're just looking for about $400. We're gonna set up Mickey a bed in the other room because he's always up here. All right, take care of each other, y'all.
And A10 don't hate the pastors. That's a little shade.
We don't.